Look, I know from our experience when Assure Global Plus goes in to help somebody just even have a look at what their data ledger is doing, they're trying to figure out why people aren't paying them fast enough. We often get caught and say, rightio, how does this work? When it comes to getting paid by your clients, and that's obviously the bit that we really specialize in, when you're sitting down and talking to the client about what their experience is, the last part of that experience is how they pay their bill. So especially if you're in a professional services business or you're a subcontractor to a larger business, what their experience of you ends up being is that how did you issue their invoice properly?
Mm-hmm.
And 80% of invoices that aren't paid because they've been issued incorrectly.
Yeah, or they sent to the wrong person, or they sent to the wrong address, or the wrong email, and people think, or they got it twice, which pisses people off. Sorry.
100%. 100%. And then if they have told somebody about it and said, hey, can you do this? Hey, you haven't got my ABN on there. Or if you're doing something for a large firm that's procuring your services, you actually need to get the purchase order number and include it on your invoice that you send them.
And the other side of that too is who owns that? So when multiple people are touching that process, I'm sure you see this a lot too, is like, well, Julie rang me and then Wendy rang me and then Peter rang me, but the problem still exists. It's like one person owns it and that is the person they deal with. And then that relationship can actually often dissolve issues purely and simply because they feel like they're being heard. And Julie might not come back for 2 days, but Julie came back. It wasn't then Peter and Dave, you know. Mm.
I know where Assure Global Plus fits into their equation, right? We know that somebody hasn't paid them, or we're helping them improve the rate at which people pay their invoices. So I know where we sit in terms of what the pain point is, and it's really easy to see. My bank account doesn't have all the money in it I would like it to have. So where do you think people should start? What type of pain point should they identify to go, hey, I need to start working on this here? Because I can imagine that as soon as you start unpacking it, you find all processes within processes within processes, and it becomes really overwhelming when you didn't have time to deal with it already. How do they identify that pain point?
Realistically, their pain point is similar to yours, is there's no money, the money's not going into my bank account. So one of the first things that, yes, we need to fix that, that's quite a priority. But how do we stop it from happening? Client flow journey. Absolutely. Plot it out. If you can't do it yourself, get somebody else to have the experience of what it's like to deal with your business, from the lead, the email, the welcome, the contract, the this is the payment. Now we're going to engage in the work. This is what I expect. This is what I expect from you. All of the steps, and make it flow, because people fall in love with their product and they can't see where the gaps are. So I was working with a photographer recently who sent me his thing. I had photos taken and he's like, so you've experienced my system. How was it? I went, well, how many times did I call you for stuff? And he's like, no, it's really great. I'm like, it's clearly not, because I called you. You're trying to prevent me from calling you. Here's the things that are not clear. And it won't be just me. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Like, and that is the difficult part. Is if you're in business, you've got to be loving what you're doing.